Hi anglers, Captain Jeff from Captain Jeff's Fishing Adventures. If you're like I am at the end of the season, I go over my inventory and see what I need to fix, what I need to replace, or maybe even add to it. Well, this year, if you're thinking about going into the 2024 season, you're thinking about upgrading your boat, or perhaps it'll be the first time you buy a boat, I wanted to talk to you about what I fish out of and why I fish out of it. We're here at Fox Lake Harbor, which is a Lund dealer in northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. I want to take a few minutes to show you the boat that I've been fishing out of with Lund for the last 10 years. It's a 1775 Impact, and this is why I choose it. It's actually 17 feet rated, but it's 17 feet 11 inches on the length, and it's got an 8 foot beam on it, so it's really wide. It gives you plenty of room to fish off of, and when I have clients, whether I'm out on a guide or I'm out with a charter, there's plenty of room for gear and for taking people out on it. Let's talk about the outside just a little bit. First of all, it has high gunnels, which I really like. Now, you may have young kids. In my case, I have young grandkids. I take them out fishing. We go in some pretty big puddles of water. We go out in Lake Michigan, we go in the Bay of Green Bay, and also in Lake Geneva. And it can get pretty choppy and currents can be pretty vicious. But when I have this boat and I have my grandkids out, the high gunnels, I don't have to worry about them getting into a chop and flipping out and falling into the water. So that's one thing that I like about the boat with the high gunnels. And again, it's got the 8 foot beam on it. It's got plenty of room to walk around for gear and moving around. As we walk back down side to take a closer look at the boat, what Lund is good for and has had for years is the IPS hull system. And I'll explain it to you. It's a pretty simple design. Basically what they have is they have strikes coming down the hull that comes back here to the rear chines. And what happens is as you get up and you're pushing the water goes along the hull, comes to the rear chines and pushes the water and pushes it down. It does a couple things for you. One, it keeps you dry, which is mighty nice. The second thing is it's excellent on handling. It keeps your chop in the water down and pushes through and stays on target for you. So the handle is really nice. The other thing that they have is if we could flip this boat over and you look at the keel, it's got a strike coming down the keel and it stops right about here, right about where the rear live well is at. And back here is what they call a pad. If you take a look, you can see a flat spot back there. And what this does is the water's being pushed back down the keel, down the strikes, and it hits the pad, it flattens out, and it pushes all the water evenly to the prop. And what that does for you, does a couple things. It's good for economics. It's good on fuel because you get up on plane a lot faster, and it comes out of a hole a lot quicker. And most boats, when you throttle up, you get the bow up on it, and you get some speed, and it gives up on plane. But when you're in the Lund with this design, once you throttle up, it comes up on plane right away. And again, handling-wise and economically, it's great for you. Another thing too to take a good look at, the boat is known as, they always joke around wells or rivets. Well, the Lund is riveted everywhere except for 2 spots, and it is welded. We'll talk about that in a second. But all the rivets on these are double riveted. It's lifetime guarantee on the rivets, lifetime on the hull, lifetime on the deck. Now where the welds are, you won't actually get to see it, but we'll talk a little bit about up here about the bow. It's a double plated bow, which is kind of nice. You have double plates up in the bow, and in the midsection they have double plates. Now those plates are actually welded, and what those plates do, it reinforces the whole hull itself, so when you're in a big chop of water, it's going to cut through the water and handle the water the way it's supposed to, and you have no worries. So those are some of the things that I like about the exterior part of the Lund. And again, I've been fishing out of a 1775 Lund for 10 years, and it had in all kinds of water, and it's really held up and produces the way it's supposed to. And I'm pretty happy with it. Guys make fun of me because every year when I get a new boat for the season, I can get any model Lund I want, but I always go with the 1775 for a couple reasons. One reason, I can get into my budget without having to worry, and the other reason, it handles big water that we're in all the time, and why go with a different boat when this produces and performs the way it's supposed to. We're going to step inside the boat and let me go over some of the features that I like about the inside of the boat and why I always fish out of this boat. Now, the other thing that I like about Lund is they have tons of storage, which I really appreciate. If you go up here in the bottom and take a look, I'll pop some of the hatches open. You've got a lot of storage here on the port side. You've got storage here on the starboard side. And one nice thing is they have the grooves in here that catches all the water, the gutters, it catches all the water and keeps your equipment and everything dry inside the storage. You also have a live well up here, a 2.5 foot in length, which is nice and roomy for small bait, perhaps, or small fish that you may be catching. The other thing that they have is the center console here for your storage of your rods. Now they have stuff stored in here right now, but you can see it takes 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. The 5 rods on top are 8 footers. The 5 rods on the bottom are 7 feet 6 inches. So it takes the big rods, which is kind of nice. Also here on the porch side, you have double rod storage here that's sealed up. It takes 7 foot 6 inches. See the rod storage there. Back a couple years ago, they changed the design. This used to be open storage over here. But what Lund did, they put a closed compartment. And when I first took a look at this, I was kind of puzzled. I thought it was a cooler. I really didn't know what it was until I talked to the techs. And they told me that it's dry storage, which is a great idea. But what you can do, because it's well insulated and has a drain in it, you can put ice in here and also put beverages in there so you stay hydrated while you're out in the water. So you can use it as dry storage, or you can also use it as a little cooler, which is nice. Some added storage up here on the starboard side, underneath the helm. You have storage, a drawer storage there, and the drawer storage there, so you can put tackle in there, or whatever you may want to put. Now for me, on the starboard side, underneath the helm, I put personal items there, like my wallet, things like that, because it stays dry and I don't have to worry about it losing it in the water or losing it anywhere. But you can use it, whatever is the best for you, whether it's storage, or you can put tackle in there, whatever is convenient works out for you. Now this boat's set up, which is pretty nice, with the pro seats, which are very comfortable for your back. And they're also on air ride. So as you're hitting bumps and going through the chop, the air ride seats take all that energy and it saves your back, and it saves you from getting tired and worn out. As we walk back to the back, what Lund started doing also a couple years ago is putting a receptacle hole for a pylon. So that way, if you want to use the boat for a family, take the kids out skiing or tubing, and you put the pylon in, slide it in, and locks it in. And you have jump seats here in the back, which are nice and roomy, so you can sit back and enjoy yourself for a nice family ride while you're out tubing and having a nice time. The other nice thing about it is that once you pop that out and turn it back into a fishing boat and put these down, this fishing deck back here is sturdy and strong. I can jump up and down on this. The only thing that's moving is the boat and the trailer. The decks are really solid. So this gives the fishermen in the back aft, gives them plenty of room to cast off of, a little casting deck, and do some fishing. The other nice thing in the back is when you do catch a larger fish, it's got a live well back here. This is in length 3.5 feet long and nice and deep, so you can put your large catch in here if you're keeping your fish. Now the boat maxes out with a 120, but I've never seen any dealers put the 120s on them because it's more economical for you to stay with the 115, and the performance difference isn't that much. So all the 1775s, including mine, we have a 115 on there, and like I said, with two fat guys, me being one of them, it runs 44 miles an hour all day long, so to get up and move. In fact, a couple times I've taken my family out, 5 adults, and we were still up in the 40s. So the 115 will do everything you want it to do, whether you're fishing or you're taking your kids and family out skiing or tubing. So the 115 is more than enough. Anglers, the reason I wanted to take this time to talk to you is with the economy the way it is, with inflation and things going up, it's terrible. But I tell you what Lund is doing, and also Fox Lake Harbor is pitched in. They purchased a lot of 2023s, which are leftovers, and we have those in stock, and they'll be at the boat shows. And the reason that we're doing it is to try to make it more economical for the angler, so he can get into a new boat, or perhaps his first fishing boat. Lund is also coming back with a lot of their rebates that they're doing on the leftovers and also the new boats. So there's going to be a lot of savings, and also the banks are working on their rates to try to get better rates for anglers that want to finance so they can get the boat that they need or want in their budget. So there's lots of things going on to try to help the angler to get out there on a new boat. And it'd be good for you guys if you're really seriously thinking about a new boat, or just come on out and look at the new stuff and see. You may find something that you just think you have to have. But they're going to be having the boat shows, like I said, in January. The first boat show is the Chicago Boat Show. Lund will be there. I'll be there in the booth. And that is Chicago Boat Show starts January 10th through the 14th. The second show is the Schaumburg Fishing Show, and this is Schaumburg, Illinois. That's on the January 25th through the 28th, and that's the Schaumburg Fishing Show. Lund will be there, the Lund booth will be there, and I'll also be at that show. And then the last show of the season is the Northern Illinois Boat Show. That's February 29th through March 3rd. And when you're out at these shows, if you're busy and you can't make a show, and you talk to, don't listen to a salesman that's telling you that, oh, these rates are only going to last for that show. These rates last, and the rebates and everything will last all the way from January till March. Lund's been doing that for years. They keep these things going for they call it the spring catch. So they try to get the best deals you can would be in the first quarter of this year. So if you can't make the first show or second show or third show, try to get out to one of them. Come in and see me. And like I said, if you're not interested in a boat, come on out and see me anyway. I'd love to talk to you and get some ideas of where you're fishing, what kind of bait you're using, what rods and reels and things like that. And it's just a good time to talk about what we all love to do. The 2024 boat season is right around the corner. In fact, we're about a week away from Christmas, and I wanted to take this time to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to your family. And do me a favor, as you're sitting around with your family around the Christmas time and you're exchanging gifts and having a good time, sit back and remember what Christmas is really all about. It's Jesus' birthday. He was born, God's Son was born on Christmas, and we're celebrating it and remember why he was here. He came on earth to die for our sins. And you should sit back and thank the Lord for his Son coming to do that and giving us that opportunity. And if I hope I see you at all the boat shows, and if I don't see you at the show, hopefully I'll see you at the water. Captain Jeff.